Eala barges into semis. Manila, Philippines. Alex Eala finally solved the puzzle of Polish ace Magda Linette with a 6-3, 6-2 masterclass and rolled into the semifinals of the ASB Classic singles yesterday at the ASB Tennis Center in Auckland, New Zealand. The Filipina ace bowed to the 33-year-old foe in their first two encounters, but not this time around. She trailed only once in another dominant sweep for her third-ever WTA Final Four appearance. It took the number 4 seed Eala only 97 minutes to score the quarterfinal victory and avenge her previous defeats to the 5th-seeded Linette at the 2025 Abu Dhabi Open, 7-6, 6-1, and the 2025 Nottingham Open, 6-4, 6-3. Eala, currently WTA number 53 but is projected to enter a new career best inside the top 50, will smash for a finale ticket against WTA number 57 and number 7 seed Wang Xinyu of China today, with the survivor earning a shot against either the number 1 seed Elena Svitolina of Ukraine, WTA number 13, or her doubles partner Iva Jovic of the United States, number 3 seed and WTA number 35. It feels good. Thank you everybody for being here, said the 20-year-old Eala, keeping grounded after yet another impressive win to start her 2026 season in style. Today was difficult with Magda obviously being such an experienced player. I had difficulties playing against her before. I'm happy that I'm seeing my level increase and improve. Xinyu scored a 6-4, 4-3 win over WTA number 73 Francesca Jones of Great Britain, who retired in the second set due to injury. In the other bracket, Svitolina escaped WTA number 68 Sonia Cardle, also from Great Britain, 6-4, 6-7, 7-6, 7-5, while Jovic swept WTA number 159 Sofia Costelas, 6-2, 7-6, 8-6. Eala and Jovic, however, could not make it a twin milestone later in the day after bowing to the third-seeded Chinese tandem of Su Yifan, WTA number 40, and Yang Zhaoxian, WTA number 44, in the doubles semifinals, 7-5, 6-3. The Filipino-American duo slew veteran tandems in the first two rounds and was standing its ground in the second set with a 3-2 lead, only for Yifan and Zhaoxian to flaunt their doubles prowess, with 7 titles under their belt, on a 4-0 finisher. Eala trailed 0-1 in the first set but owned her old rival the rest of the way. Eala barges into semis. The crowd was electric, a pulsing river of sound that seemed to shake the stadium from its very foundations. Every cheer, every gasp, every drum of applause echoed like a heartbeat in unison with the thudding of her own pulse. Eala stood at the baseline, racket in hand, eyes narrowing against the bright glare of the stadium lights. Today was not just another match. Today was the semifinals. And she had fought tooth and nail to get here. From the very first point of the tournament, whispers of Eala's talent had circulated, some skeptics questioning, others marveling. She had been underestimated, dismissed as too young, too raw, too inexperienced to truly contend with the titans of the circuit. Yet, with every match, she had rewritten the narrative. Each serve, each drop shot, each sprint to the far corners of the court told a story of relentless determination. The match before her in the quarterfinals had been grueling. Her opponent, a seasoned player with years of victories etched into her name, had attacked relentlessly. But Eala had barged through, refusing to let doubt take root. Her footwork was poetry in motion, her serve, a cannonball of precision. Fans had risen to their feet after that final point, roaring not just for victory but for the birth of a star whose potential seemed limitless. Now, as the semifinals loomed, Eala was no longer just a name on a scoreboard. She was a force, a whirlwind of youth, courage, and raw skill. But the semifinals were a different arena altogether. The competition here was sharper, more ruthless. The opponents were not just players, they were masters of strategy, guardians of titles, monsters of mental fortitude. Yet Eala felt no fear, only a simmering excitement that coursed through her veins. The moment she stepped onto the court, memories flashed behind her closed eyes. Hours in the gym, long runs at dawn when the world was still wrapped in sleep, the ache in her legs and shoulders that had once felt unbearable but now felt like proof of her resilience. Every sacrifice, every moment of doubt conquered, had led her to this point. The opening serve of the semifinal match was crisp, slicing through the air with a hiss that seemed louder than any cheer from the stands. Eala's opponent returned with equal ferocity, each rally growing longer, more intense, until the crowd held its collective breath with every shot. It was a battle not just of skill, but of mind, heart, and stamina. Eala's strategy was clear. She played with intelligence as much as with power, mixing delicate slices with blistering ground strokes, forcing her opponent to move constantly, to chase, to tire. And when her opportunity came, she struck like lightning, an ace down the tee that made the audience erupt. Her coach's voice rang in her head, steady and calm. Play your game. Trust yourself. With every point, Emma's confidence swelled. She moved with an elegance that belied her age, combining instinct with hours of meticulous practice. And yet, it wasn't just physical skill that carried her, it was her unyielding spirit. When she stumbled, she recovered with a grin that seemed to say, "Is that all you've got?" By the third set, the match had reached a fever pitch. Sweat dripped from her brow, muscles screamed, lungs burned. But in her eyes was the fire of someone who refused to be denied. Each point was a microcosm of her journey, a journey from the quiet courts of her hometown to the roar of international stadiums. She was not merely playing to win, she was playing to assert herself, to announce her arrival on the grand stage. And then it happened. A rally so long it felt eternal, a sequence of strokes that had the audience leaning forward, hearts pounding in tandem with hers. A cross-court forehand, a lightning-fast backhand, a serve that kissed the line. Eala had done it. The final point landed clean, her opponent unable to return, and in that instant, the stadium exploded. Eala had barged into the semifinals. The significance of that moment was not lost on her. It was a culmination of years of discipline, of belief in herself when the world doubted, of moments where perseverance outweighed pain. Cameras flashed, fans screamed, and for a fleeting second, everything else, the pressure, the fatigue, the anxiety, faded into the background. She had reached a milestone that would forever define her career. Yet, amidst the celebration, Eala's mind was already forward-looking. She knew the semifinals would demand more, test her limits, challenge her both physically and mentally. But for now, she allowed herself a quiet, private victory. The kind that exists not in headlines or social media posts, but in the steady rhythm of a heartbeat and the warm glow of hard-earned triumph. As she walked off the court, racket slung over her shoulder, she felt the weight of expectation transform into a buoyant sense of possibility. Every young athlete watching, every fan who had cheered, every doubter who had whispered, "Maybe not," they were part of the story now. Eala had barged into the semifinals, yes, but more than that, she had barged into the consciousness of the sporting world. And this was only the beginning. She would face the next match with the same courage, the same fire, the same relentless determination that had carried her this far. But tonight,